Alright, welcome back to the channel, The Wizard Dan. Brian here. So I'm going to be talking today kind of like about a few things, but the overall topic is this. When you are beginning to do magic, or maybe you've been studying or for a long time, or maybe you're a bit of an armchair magician, and that has played its course in your development, and now you just really want to take it to the next level, and you kind of don't know how to. You don't know what's holding you back. And it's also possible maybe you're the individual that is trying certain things, and then just unaware of why rituals aren't working, why your first ritual didn't work maybe. All of these things I'm going to be helping. So, number one biggest root problem for most people is going to be laziness. In today's society, nobody does things they don't like to do. And I mean, you really don't have to, but it really does us a disservice because it isn't teaching you discipline and things like that, right? You don't have much motivation. There's technology and stuff like that, so there's instant gratification and reward system in place, and it's terrible. It makes people lazy and incapable, sadly. So this is the first thing I'm talking about: laziness. Laziness is something you're gonna have to tackle, and it's not one of those things that's gonna have some magical fix. Maybe yes, you could take medication or something, I don't know, but doing it yourself, just saying to yourself that you are going to start doing something. Okay, so for instance, if you have a fiance or a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever your situation is, if they know about your practice, your studies, or just things you're into, right, or the things you want to become into, have them hold you accountable. Essentially what that means is tell them, hey, tomorrow by 12 o'clock, if I don't do such and such, you need to do this, or I need to be punished in X, Y, and Z way, or you figure out how you want to go about it, but there needs to be a consequence to my inaction. And what this will do is it'll train you to do things. It teaches your mind that, because you're working with your subconscious here. That the subconscious is what runs all the chemicals in the brain, all the stuff, all your choices and inactions. Obviously there's freedom of choice, and there's no inability to choose and stuff like that. But there's something, like an impulse, right? For a lot of people to get impulses, and impulses typically come from the subconscious because it's a learned behavior that you feel drawn to. Okay, so what you're going to have to learn to do is overcome that by teaching your subconscious that something good is on the other side of doing the one more difficult or tough task to complete, whereas not doing anything at all and being lazy has consequence. And that's going to teach your mind that something good comes from working When you work on yourself, you get a positive outcome. You start to learn. Okay. Now, the next thing I want to talk about, let's see, I wrote some of the stuff down because I get talking and ranting. I don't ever go into a video knowing what I'm going to say. I kind of just start freeballing, so that's what I'm doing. So this is done. Lack of imagination or the creative muscle. Now, I'm calling it a muscle. The imagination is a muscle because it is something that you don't have, or you have essentially kicked to the curb because society tells you it's childish, blah, 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 blah. It isn't. It's very useful. In fact, that's how manifestation works, is through imagination. If you put things out into the universe, you picture it with your mind and you see it, and you can really imagine your reality, you're putting it out into the universe, and then it will start to manifest, right? That's what they say, and that's how they say it works. And inadvertently, they're telling you that the one thing that we're denying since childhood, calling it childish, is actually very, very important. One of the most important things in the physical realm is something that's not even really physical. Well, let's move on. So it's a muscle. We got that out of the way. Now, a muscle can't be used until it's worked on appropriately, right? So, saying I'm trying to pick up this big ass fucking object, this heavy, heavy object, I can't do it, but somebody that has worked on it and practiced for a long time, lifting weights and what have you, can lift it up with ease. And that is the same equation for somebody that is just coming in to Magick, attempting a ritual, attempting to see and hear a spirit, but yet their psychic muscles, both the physical form of that muscle and the spiritual form of that muscle, and the mental plane form of that muscle, they're all weak. So, what are you going to be capable of doing in comparison to somebody that is fully trained as a magician? They can conjure up a ritual, prepare it in a matter of 10 minutes, 20 minutes, have the ritual ready, and then go through the motions and have a spirit there rather quickly, see and hear, okay, without threatening spirits and all that nonsense, all that fear boosting nonsense. Okay, so it's now we know it's very important, right? You need to work on the imagination. Now, what is the imagination? The imagination is like a image receiving center, okay? And it's what is called the image depot center, right? So it's where you will send images out and where you receive images back. Okay, now if you haven't started to build this depot, and you haven't built the depot, nobody, aka spirits, can't come and send you images. They just won't. There's nothing there, so they can't relay an image of their self and then show in front of you. They cannot speak to you in terms of images. You cannot send images out and manifest in real time in the physical realm because you do not have this imaginative muscle. So you have to build that. You need to set the foundation, do visualization exercises. And that's why sitting here and all this stupid stuff with the, imagining a square, imagining a triangle, a banana, moving it, imagining, what it might smell like, what it might sound like. All of this stuff, it's exercising your inner muscles, your inner eye, your inner ears, your inner even nose and feels. All these psychic senses are getting exercised. And then you are, at the same time that you're doing this, you are aligning the physical vessel with the potential of the spiritual vessel that is inhabiting the physical vessel, because that is what you are. You are a spiritual being inhabiting a physical vessel. So imagine this, right? Just so you further grasp the concept. Imagine there's a race car driver, extremely capable, right? Endless potential. There's so much you can do. You give him an F1 car, and he can tear that track up. He can do anything he wants, forward, backward, fast, hit the corners the way he wants to. But if you put him in a Kia, he is infinitely bound and restricted. He, can only do so much before the car flips over, or, he just has to drive like a normal person. He can't do anything out of the normal, because even though he's like, a race car driver and he has all this potential and skill, the thing that he is inhabiting can't live up to that potential. So I hope that helps understand. Usually metaphors help people understand the teaching. So moving on. Okay, the last thing I want to speak on is meditation and chakra work. So doing chakra work is, once again, it's aligning the physical vessel with the spiritual. What you're doing is you're activating your physical, spiritual chakra points, and they are coexisting with one another, aligning and activating, opening, and starting to work. Okay, it is very important that you work on this stuff. And there are minor chakras, like, yes, everybody knows about the 7 major chakras. There are clairaudient chakras. There are clairvoyant chakras. I would recommend looking up on, like, Z Library. I think it's z-library.sk. If you look that up, right, then make an account, which is, it's free, doesn't do anything. You don't have to donate, but if you do, you get more options, more out of the account, more downloads. Then you want to go look up Joy of Satan Ministries, and then look for the PDF. It's going to be a rather big file. It has a lot of meditations, a lot of practices. It's teaching you how to become a full-on magician. Everything you need to know. There's a lot in there. Like, this spirit is the same as this spirit. Now, that is UPG, Unverified Personal Gnosis. And take that for what it is. It's not verified. It's this group's personal beliefs, okay? But the stuff on and in that book, it works, okay? And it's only available in PDF form. So you have to go to the Z Library to get it. That's the only place I've ever seen it. So you need to go there to get it. Very good book. And if you need more, I have other resources. I have about 310 books in which I can, share with you and share with others that are looking to develop and grow in this field. But meditation is also very important. It is very important to silence the mind. it gives the spirit more power, more control, more ability within the vessel. Okay, if the vessel is loud, the mind is loud, and even if you don't notice it, if you're not meditating, even if you think you're the person that, my mind's blank 24/7, if you're not meditating, you have a loud mind. Your mind is always processing, calculating, doing all this stuff. But in the back, there's a lot of ego, a lot of, how do I explain this? A lot of different thoughts and emotions that have nothing to do with you as the spirit in the vessel. Okay? And in previous videos, I have explained this. You need to look into the slit experiment. Look up my videos. They're titled King Paimon is in the title. So if you look up those videos I wrote with King Paimon in the title, you will understand influence. You'll understand molecules and how King Paimon, I guess you can call it UPG, my unverified personal gnosis. All of these molecules, you learn in science class that you are conformed of billions of individual atoms, right? Little individual atoms. Everything in you. Every little molecule inside the body and out. That includes the mind, everything. Now, ego is a concentration of all these atoms to form a mind, hive mind, right? And the ego that speaks, that wants things, that sees itself as a being, that is sensitive, that is very defensive, all this stuff, possessive, that is the concentration of these atoms making the hive mind, because in essence what it is these things, they want to experience life through their own eyes and live in the way that we do and have the control that we do. And the only way that they can get that kind of sort of feeling is through the impulse of ego. They fool many people into believing that the ego is one and the same with the person, and the person starts buying into the fact that the ego is their own thoughts. But if you meditate, you'll come to the conclusion that those are not your thoughts, because they will arise on their own without your input, without your asking for them. You'll just be sitting there trying to be in silence, and here comes a random crazy thought. But I won't get too deep into it. Just do this. If you do meditation often, it silences that ego. It puts it way to the curb. The more often you do it, the more in control you are, and the more you'll be able to do. The more access you'll have to your abilities. Alright, peace.